providing a standard framework for accreditations of technology programs. The ASTTBC APEG-BC Joint Board convened one meeting in 2006, largely to hear the presidents of APEG-BC and ASTTBC following their joint meeting with Minister Andrew Wilkinson, the minister responsible for APEG and ASTTBC's acts. I regret to report that the joint board has been inactive for over a year, a matter of real concern to ASTTBC Council, and I am hopeful that the joint board will reconvene in 2017. ASTTBC launched an enhanced program for professional practice and ethics, including the establishment of competency-based certification standards for most of the technical specialist program, and developed an exam management system. In 2016, ASTTBC also continued to pursue qualified professionals recognition in several areas. The ASTTBC website lists all qualified professional recognitions. Targeted members, communication, and engagement was a focus of 2016. A new format for the ASTTBC e-news was launched, and the response has been positive with increasing open and click-through rates. ASTTBC continues to work with various organizations to provide quality continuing CPD courses, workshops, and conferences to our members at preferred rates. In 2016, ASTTBC produced a video highlighting female member technologists in time for a special We for She conference in October. This video will continue to be utilized in ASTTBC's marketing efforts to promote career opportunities for women in technology. We will view the video at lunch today. The 2016 Annual General Meeting and Conference, AGM, and the 2016 Technology Awards and Recognition Celebration, TARC, there's a lot of acronyms, by the way, people, were well attended with 200 participants, the AGM, and 350 at the TARC Awards. This year, we are expecting an increase. As of December 31st, 2016, ASTTBC membership stood at 10,601, including 8,452 technologists and technicians and 2,149 registrants in the technical specialist groups. ASTTBC financial standings will be reported on this morning by Secretary-Treasurer Sarah Camden. ASTTBC enjoyed another productive year in which the association worked to further enhance its mandate to serve the public interest. That concludes my President's report. Thank you very much for listening to me. I now ask for a motion to receive the President's report, and may I have a seconder? Thank you. Seconder, Keith. Any questions? Other than me saying a lot of acronyms. There will be a test at the end of the day, just saying. On seeing no questions, may I ask for a show of hands in support of the resolution? Thank you, and thanks for not asking any questions. Oh, geez, there's always one in the crowd. Can I have your name, number, and I'll be phoning you later. Yes. You touched briefly on the PTEC designation. Yes. Was there any more information you could just shed on that, like maybe the schedule? The council just passed yesterday in our open session the implementation of the PTEC designation phase 1, where it will be rolled out. The certification board has started up again. I'm not sure when they will be reconvening, but council gave their authorization to get going again. We have changed some certification policy areas to align ourselves with assets, Alberta's technology association's requirements. And at this point, I've also had meetings or lunch meetings with the co-chair of APEG-BC for getting back together in regards to that. So I think it's an ongoing process, but yes, we have, or council has given the authority for the certification to start again. Okay. Wait a minute, it was moved. It was already done. I hope that answers your question. Perfect. So resolution is carried. Thank you very much. All right. Annual report from the public representatives. This is where I get to sit back and not talk anymore. To bring an outside perspective to our deliberations, ASTTBC added public representatives to the makeup of our council in 2006. Brian Carr was appointed a public representative in 2012. Brian, who is now retired, was Dean of Science and Horticulture at Kwantlen College Polytechnic University and is honorary member of ASTTBC. James Coble was appointed in 2014. James is Director of Student Services at Okanagan College. Rob Campbell, a P.Eng and an honorary member of ASTTBC, was appointed in 2015. Rob is Board Chair of R.F. Binney and Associates. I will now ask James Coble to come forward to present the Public Representatives Report. James.
Thanks, Keith. So good morning. It's my pleasure to present a summary of the 2016 Public Representatives Report. Our role as public representatives on ASTTBC Council, in essence, is to act as stewards of public interest, particularly as it relates to safety and protection. We strive to identify matters that help maintain trust in the professional endeavors of ASTTBC as a public organization. I would like to say that from our viewpoint, ASTTB Council meetings operate openly, professionally, and efficiently. We are provided equal opportunity to fully engage and participate in all agenda items. Our opinions and recommendations are fully welcomed and respected, and for that we commend the ASTTBC Council. This report will focus on 4 items that are deemed by the public representatives to be of key interest to the public. The first area I'd like to highlight is the collaborative efforts of ASTTBC and its partners in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Ontario. Technology Professionals Canada was officially incorporated in 2015 and work will extend into 2017. Technology Professionals Canada provides full funding support for Technology Accreditations Canada to develop and maintain standardized competency benchmarks across 4 provinces which are used for professional certification. These benchmarks are also used for accrediting programs offered by the post-secondary schools within 4 provinces. The public representatives recommend that dialogue between Technology Professionals Canada, see I tried to use an acronym there, Technology Professionals Canada and the provinces who have retained partnership with the Canadian Council of Technicians and Technologists, CCTT, becomes a priority with the vision of a once again single national forum. The second area I would like to highlight is professional standards and regulation. In the Public Representatives Report for 2015, a requirement of reporting of CPD by its membership was applauded and the process of implementation begun. It was recommended that ASTTBC Council establish the CPD monitoring and reporting process as a key objective in 2016-2017. Council was regularly updated on the status of the process in 2016, and it is recommended that Council continues to measure progress at its meetings throughout 2017. The third area I would like to highlight is ASTTBC outreach and membership recruitment and retention. The success of ASTTBC is directly tied, in a large sense, to external connections and partnerships, and building and mentoring these relationships is critical to its continuing success. As acknowledged in past public representative reports, ASTTBC has long been active in seeking employer recognition of career opportunities under its realm and the advantages to employers and the public at large of professional certification. ASTTBC staff and its CEO have also been highly proactive in marketing educational pathways and the rewards of careers as engineering technologists, technicians, and technical specialists. The public representatives recommend that ASTTBC Council and staff, 1, continue to promote technology careers to BC's youth and schools. 2, continue an aggressive approach to recruit new members. And finally, 3, to review ASTTBC membership, engagement, and participation. Lastly, ASTTB Council, BC Council, launched a new designation in 2015, professional technologist, which Keith had just addressed a little while ago. While the criteria for certification would have served the needs in BC, expressions of concern were received from the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Alberta and Assets of Alberta. Therefore, the PTEC certification was put on hold briefly. It is recommended that ASTTBC Council prioritize a review and promote a revised strategy to resolve any current barriers that may exist, so that the registration process for this credential can recommence as early as possible. In conclusion, I'm sure that I speak on behalf of my fellow representatives. I'd like to say that it has been an honor to be part of the ASTTB Council. Before passing over the microphone, I would like to thank the ASTTB Council members and the ASTTBC staff for their commitment and professionalism. Thanks.
Thank you, James. And the rest of the public representatives, we appreciate your insight and input. I will now ask for a motion to receive the public representatives report. Dan, seconder. Marsh. I'm just reading my italics. I shouldn't be reading that stuff. Any questions? Come on, there's got to be a question for him. Come on. Dan, did you have a question? No, crap. Okay, on seeing no questions, may I ask for a show of hands in support of the resolution? Thank you. Resolution carried. Thanks, James. Secretary Sarah Camden, CTEC RT Manager. Please refer to the auditor's audited financial statements, including the agenda package. I will now ask Secretary Treasurer Sarah Camden to come forward to present the audited financial statements for 2016. Sarah, you're up.
I know, this is what everybody's waiting for. It's so exciting. He gets the acronyms, I get the numbers. My job's harder than his. Okay, we're going to look at the auditor's report. So please refer to the audited financial statements included in your agenda package. Secretary Treasurer is responsible for providing oversight on behalf of Council for the overall financial affairs of ASTTBC. In accordance with ASTT Regulation 11.1A, it is also the responsibility of the Secretary Treasurer to present at the annual meeting the audited financial statements for the year just ended. The firm of Sadler Weismiller Group has completed their audit of the financial statements for 2016. It is usual at the AGM for the Secretary Treasurer to highlight key parts of the financial statements to give you a high-level look at the financial status of the association. I ask that you turn to the audited financial statements that are included in the package, which you've done already, I think. First, I will draw your attention to the first page headed Independent Auditor's Report, which states that the financial statements are fairly presented. The auditor acknowledges that management is responsible for the preparation of the financial statements. The auditor's responsibility is to express an opinion on the financial statements. So if you can please turn to Statement 1, the Statement of Financial Position as of December 31st, 2016. You will note about 1/3 down the page that ASTTBC has total assets of $3,273,885 at the end of 2016, a healthy position for the association. In the second to last line on this page, you will note that ASTTBC ended the year with net assets of $1,717,652, down slightly from $1,779,232 at the end of 2015. And finally, the total liabilities and net assets at the end of the year was $3,273,885. ASTTBC is in a solid financial position. If you can now turn to Statement 2. In Statement 2, the Statement of Operations for the year ended December 31st, 2016, I will draw your attention to a few of the key entries. So first, looking at the revenue. Total revenue for the year was $3,521,518, down from $3,613,526. I'm going to start to get a little slower on the numbers here. Last year, due to lower funding from special projects. Now to expenses. Near the bottom of the page, you will see that the overall expenses in 2016 stood at $3,541,240, up a little bit from $3,501,589 in 2015. So overall, ASTTBC ended the year with an excess of expenses over revenue of $19,722 in operations, which with a draw from the ASTTB reserves resulted in a total deficit of $61,580. This deficit is a first for decades as we use designated reserves to carry out previous budget initiatives. So I'll explain that briefly. ASTTB Council has set aside reserves from retained earnings to fund designated activities or projects. At the end of 2016, the designated reserves were $393,355. When we pull from the reserves, the cost shows up in the current operating expenses, and because it's not part of the ongoing operations and the current budget, it shows up as a deficit for the year. The remainder of the auditor's report details changes in net assets in Statement 3, Statement of Cash Flows, and in Statement 4 and notes, which I'll leave to you guys to have a look at after the meeting. And this completes an overview of the financial statements. So as your Secretary Treasurer, I can assure you that ASTTBC continues to make good use of its financial resources as we work to fulfill our mandate. ASTTBC operates in full transparency, and any questions are welcomed by me, its Secretary Treasurer and CEO. So at this point, Mr. Chair, I move that the audited financial statements for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2016 be received.
So we need a mover. Keith? Yeah, you're seconding it as well? Did you have a mover?
No,
okay. So Keith was. I need a seconder.
Yeah, there we go. Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions on the financial statements? Seeing none, may I have a show of hands in support of the resolution? There you go, so moved.
Thank you. Resolution carried. Okay. So now at this time, it is the time to appoint auditors for the upcoming year. So I'm going to ask myself.
Yeah, I will ask for a motion from Sarah Camden, Secretary Treasurer. Sarah. Okay.
I move that Sadler Wise Miller Group Chartered Accountants be appointed auditors for the 2017 financial year.
May I have a seconder? Oh, there we go, Marsh.
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions? Seeing none, may I ask for a show of hands in support of the resolution? Resolution carried.
Great.
You're off.
Thank you.
You're done. Very, yeah. I would just like to say that because I've been the Secretary Treasurer before, the amount of numbers that come in and the amount of oversight is staggering. We work with the auditors quite regularly. We have a great staff to help us through. We do oversee all of the expenditures, expenses. And so, Sarah, you have done a fantastic job for the last 2 years, and we really appreciate it. Even though you're turning the reins over to someone else, I do appreciate your last 2 years. So a round of applause for Sarah. I will now call upon ASTTBC Foundation Chair Dan Mooney, ASCT CPWI 1, to present the Foundation's report. Dan.
Thank you, Keith. Good morning, everyone. The financial statement for the Foundation is attached to the agenda today, and I'm not going to go over that in any detail like Sarah did. I was Secretary Treasurer many years ago, so I would like to indulge your time for a little bit just to give you some highlights. ASTTBC Foundation is our charitable organization. Since it was founded in 1990, the Foundation has provided hundreds of thousands of dollars to help technology students and to promote science and technology education in BC. And I was very pleased to hear James mention it as a public representative because I think it's one of our obligations to society to promote these professions. The ASTTBC Foundation continues to build on a history of helping the youth of today to become the technologists and technicians and technology specialists of tomorrow. In 2016, the Foundation's endowment fund grew by more than $30,000 and is now over $600,000 in total. This endowment fund is intended to provide support for technology students well into the future. And with your help, we have great aspirations to expand this fund to $1 million in the foreseeable future. In addition to increasing the endowment fund by $30,000 in the past year, ASTTBC members, partners, friends once again demonstrated their generous support to the foundation. As a result, we were able to provide $26,000 in awards and bursaries for students across the province. On behalf of technology students who benefited from this assistance, we thank you, the members. The foundation also holds the ASTTBC STEM Fund, that's Science, Technology, Engineering and Math Fund, which provides sponsorships for science and technology education activities for our future kindergarten to grade 12 students across BC. This fund provided $20,000 in support for STEM learning in 2016. So for those keeping track, we've got $30,000 in the endowment fund, $26,000 in awards and bursaries, $20,000 in STEM for a total of $76,000 in activity in 2016. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize and thank Ann Sharp, our Executive Director of the Foundation, and the volunteers who serve with me along on the ASTTBC Foundation Board. In 2016, we had John Baker, Dimitri Gulak, Bill McPherson, Doug Knott, and a special recognition to Mike Ivany, our former chair, who stepped down after many years of service. Recently, we were pleased to welcome Frank Rizzardo to serve on the Foundation Board. Solid support staff and the volunteer service of our members and partners are essential to the continued success of our foundation. However, the greatest shout out is saved for last, and that's to you, our members, who support the efforts of the foundation, both in terms of their activities that we host, as well as those who have provided financial donations. Generous support that you make to encourage and support those who are entering our professions is very much appreciated. I reflect back onto the little decisions, the things that happened in my life that made me choose to go into this profession. And it's these types of awareness activities, involvement with the youth and children, providing opportunities for grants and that make the difference, that make people make the decisions to enter into our profession, which is an obligation to our society and to the public. And I encourage you and I thank you for your continued success. With that, I'll leave the report with you, and if there are any questions.
Thank you, Dan. I will now ask for a motion to receive ASTTBC Foundation report. Thanks, Prakash. May I have a seconder? David. Are there any questions? Seeing none, may I ask for a show of hands in support of the resolution? Resolution carried. Thank you very much, sir.
Don't forget to buy raffle tickets.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. I was just going to do a shameless plug, but Dan beat me to the punch. These are events that we bring people, technologists and technicians and tech specs together to support the foundation. There is a raffle. We also do silent auction at the TARC Awards. It all goes towards the foundation. We're talking about the future of our association and to support those that need the financial requirements to get into the fields that they're really passionate about. Plus there's a barbecue I hear, so that'd be awesome. And by the way, can I actually buy tickets and win? There's no conflict? Cindy's going, no, there's a conflict. There's a total conflict. I'm still buying tickets, I'm just saying. Okay, now we will move directly to the nomination report. Dave Rutherford, Chair of the Nominating Committee, will present the nomination report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning. I'm pleased to present the report of the Nominating Committee to the 58th Annual General Meeting. The ASTTBC Nominating Committee includes myself, Dave Rutherford, as chair, Bob Colclough, Bill McPherson, Dan Mooney, Henry Murphy, and Keith Switzer. And I just wanted to thank those folks for letting their names stand for this committee, and I really enjoyed working with them over the past couple of years, and we look forward to working with you again over the next few. In accordance with Regulation 8.0, the Nominating Committee is pleased to present the following names for the election to the 2017-2018 Council. I ask Council members to stand when their name is called and to remain standing, and I ask you, the audience, hold your applause until all have been introduced. So the 2017-2018 Council Executive includes President Trent Reed, Vice President Sarah Camden, Secretary-Treasurer David Speranese, Past President Keith Trolson. Council Directors include Todd Blackstock, Rachel Butler, Jeff Collins, Edsel Escala, Heather Robertson, Paul Sawyer, Craig Sears, Paul Toomey, and Ken Zelischuk. And our public representatives include Rob Campbell, Brian Carr, who's not with us today, and James Coble. As there's no requirement for a resolution, will you please join me in thanking the 2017-2018 Council for their willingness to lead this association.
You're up. Oh, I'm on. Thought I could have a rest there. Thank you, Dave, and the entire nomination committee for your work in nominating another very effective council. My thanks also to our members who have volunteered to serve on ASTTBC Council. I asked you to join me in thanking all of these volunteers with a big round of applause. It's nice to have a strong Italian join us on the council, you know, and just start giving us these. I know a guy. New business, motions from the floor. Sorry. Oh, do we need a motion to? I don't think we need a motion. Dave, do we need a motion? We don't need a motion. It's not written in my script. I have to follow the script. It's just okay, it's time to consider any motions that have been brought forward to at this meeting. I will ask CEO John Leach to present any motions from the floor. John.
I think I'll just sit here. I've received no formal written resolutions. Does anyone have any resolutions that haven't yet been brought forward?
Quiet crowd today. Okay. I want to go back to the council just for a second. It's off script a little. It's amazing the leadership that comes forward every year. We had the President's dinner last night, and the wisdom that was in that room from the past presidents was amazing. I got involved because there was such great leadership in this association. Ron Green was a massive mentor to me, and I just thank him. And you've seen the past presidents being introduced. I thank them for their wisdom as well. And the association is in great hands with Trent and Sarah and David and the rest of council. And I just am amazed at the leadership that continues to flourish within this association. So if you do want to get involved, please let us know. We always love to have great leaders join us. So I just thank you. That was off the script, and I'll just get back onto it because it's all written here. Okay, we have a number of special guests with us today from professional associations, science and technology organizations, business and industry, and education. John, will you please take the mic and introduce them?
Yes, thank you. I'm going to remain seated if that's okay with you. Oh, on cue. Right. Pop your bubble. That's no, yeah, careful, Marvin. We have a number of special guests with us today, and that's been tradition over many, many years. Joining us from a number of professional associations, science and technology organizations, business and industry, and education. I'm going to introduce a number of these special guests. Our sister associations will be invited to come to the podium, and that's one of the reasons I'll sit here so we're not jumping back and forth to bring greetings. The first individual who was difficult to recognize initially, but definitely looks 10 years younger, because about 3 weeks ago when we were at the Alberta Association's annual meeting, on stage he shaved off his beard. And he was kind enough to step up and offer the potential for it to serve as a bit of a fundraising effort. So ASTTBC joined with the Ontario colleagues and Saskatchewan and made donations to their foundation in support of Eric Amflat. Eric is past president of the Association of Science and Engineering Technology Professionals of Alberta. Eric, great to have you here this morning. Would you please come forward?
Yes, I do look a little bit younger now than I did before, but ASTT members, staff, council, other special guests. President Sandra Pippis could not be here, so she sends her regrets. Keith, Trent, John, thanks for inviting me to attend your AGM this year. I bring greetings from ASTTT and its 18,000 members in Alberta. Family is a big part of the support that allows us to do the things that we do. And I always like to tell little stories about me and my kids. I told one about my daughter and what she thought ties were for. But I have another one that I'll try and quickly get through. I was so excited, the weather was nice, and I ran out on my deck without my shoes on, and I got a splinter in my foot. And so my eldest daughter was more than happy to help extricate the offensive piece of lumber that was stuck in my foot. And when I was done, I looked at it and go, oh, it's, go get the mercurochrome. And she looks at me and goes, Dad, you know I don't know what that is. And I said, you know, that's right. I said, so we looked it up, and sure enough, mercurochrome, it's been outlawed since 1996, because apparently putting mercury into an open wound is not something that we do. So, so why is this important? Well, things change, right? We make differences. We look back and we go, I can't believe we used to do it that way. And we're making steps going forward in recognizing the efforts that technologists are having in the communities, in the workforce, being professionals. And we're going to look back one day and go, I can't believe we had to be supervised. Can't believe that we were voluntary to be professionals. And it'll be good to push forward the recognition of technologists across Canada, in BC, in Alberta, and right across this country. So, Keith and Trent, it's been a pleasure working with you guys. Your continued commitment to maintain open communications with the other presidents across this country is commendable and a good thing to do. So I encourage you to continue doing that, and together we'll make great things happen. So congratulations, and being a current past president for about a month now, you'll still be busy as past president, so enjoy it. So congratulations, Trent. I think you'll do a great job, and thank you.
Wait a minute, John. So if anybody wants to know what Eric actually looked like at the AGM a month ago. Take a look at Brent Burns. Okay, and that's what he looked like. So it was a good thing. I think his wife appreciated the beard gone. So thanks, Eric.
I did say that we stressed the FUN, the fun part as well, right? So you've got to have a little bit of that. From Ontario, we have their leader, Bob Vandenberg. He's president of the Ontario Association of Certified Engineering Technicians and Technologists. Bob, please join us.
For those that are interested, I do have photographic evidence of what Eric looked like before. It's great to be back in sunny BC. Please send some to Ontario. I'm looking at the weather report. It's rain today, rain tomorrow, rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Trent, when you're coming out to our AGM, please bring some sun. If you don't, bring an umbrella. You'll need it. Last night, I had the pleasure as well of attending the President's Dinner where we sang happy birthday to Keith Schulzen's wife, Lori. If you see her today, be sure to wish her a happy birthday. Now, one of my roles as president at our last AGM and during the President's Dinner, it was also Keith Schulzen's dinner as well, the birthday as well then. And we had the opportunity in Ontario to sing Keith happy birthday. So we do have fun, there's certainly associations. Last night, I also learned as well that ASTTBC was founded in 1958. 59 years of success. Congratulations. Job well done. And really part of that, when I certainly had the opportunity to talk with the past presidents around, certainly that success is certainly due to you, the past presidents that were the leaders of the association and drove the initiatives forward to get your association to where it is today. We certainly heard a lot about war stories, challenges, successes, and how you overcome them. Congratulations. And congratulations to Keith Schulzen on the part he played in it in the last 2 years as your president of ASTTBC. You know, Keith, on the national front, it's been a true joy to work with you on both as we incorporated TPC, we made it an actual business. We incorporated TAC, and that's an actual operating company as well. And we also signed some agreements to ensure the long-term funding of TAC to make sure it can grow and enter into long-term contracts as they develop their CTACs for all the disciplines. Also, thank you for organizing the All Presidents meeting. Getting 10 of us together in a room at one time and getting, you know, I'm a fairly busy person. I manage a company as well and travel across Canada and also to Europe a few times a year for work. And then certainly everybody else is traveling and finding dates, organizing it, developing an agenda. That was not an easy task, and Keith, congratulations, and thank you for taking that task on. You know, and speaking of, you know, your 59 years of success, OSET turns 60 this year. And we'll be celebrating that at our AGM next week. And we still have a number of 60-year members. I had the opportunity to actually sign certificates, and we found a picture of a few individuals that were there when OSET was first born, and they were signing the certificate of incorporation along with the minister. You know, you think about us techies, we're a resilient bunch. We're like the Energizer Bunny. We just keep on going and going. I look forward to learning about the continuing success of ASTTBC under Trent Reed's upcoming presidency. And our incoming president, Trent, he's looking forward to working with you as well. You know, ASTTBC, congratulations on another successful year. Keith, congratulations on a successful term and best wishes for a successful AGM. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Bob made reference to Technology Accreditation Canada. I was talking to their executive director, Richard Stamper, this morning, who said he was doing business in Alberta, and it was just a natural development that he would hop across the Rockies and visit us today. So let's welcome the executive director of Technology Accreditation Canada, Richard Stamper. Richard, I anticipate we'll give you a little bit of a highlight, a couple of minutes on the progress that's been made in a very short period of time. A great leader of the organization.
Almost done. You know, the finish line is in sight. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for inviting me here today. And it was a quick jump over, but I would have come from Toronto anyway, so I appreciate the opportunity. And on behalf of Technology Accreditation Canada and our board and our councils and our big staff of 2 and our audit team of, we've got probably about 100 auditors now, we bring sincere greetings to this event today. And I would certainly like to take the opportunity to thank the ASTTBC members, in particular for your support of TAC. You probably don't know all the things that you're doing for us, but we certainly appreciate the funding support in particular that allows us to do what we're doing. And we'd certainly like to thank, we've got some of the auditors from your fine organization that are part of our organization, so we thank the auditors as well. And I think it would, I would be remiss if I didn't thank John for his support and Charles Joyner as well. I don't know where Charles is, somewhere out there, for his support, certainly for the moral support and guidance as we build our business. And we're looking forward to doing lots more here. So thank you very much to you, gentlemen. John asked me to sort of maybe give you a little bit of an update, and I'll give you a quick one. We just accredited our 12th program, so we're very proud of that. In pretty short time, I guess we've been around for about 1.5 years, so we've made a lot of progress. We're now actually working on 15 accreditations as we speak, so we've got lots of new announcements that will be coming shortly. We've got lots of applications that are ready to go. Relative to BC, we've got some support from a couple of the institutions here in the province. We realize we've got some work to do, and you certainly, Trent, you've got our commitment to work together to make more progress in the province in terms of building the audit team, but more importantly, getting more programs accredited in the province. So you've got our full support and commitment. So those are sort of a quick idea of where we are. Last but not least, I want to congratulate ASTTBC for a fantastic year, certainly under your leadership, Keith. We've seen lots of obviously positive results that have been highlighted today. We wish Trent best success in carrying that forward, and we wish everybody a productive and a very enjoyable AGM. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Richard. A key association with whom ASTTBC has been affiliated, in fact, from the very early days of 1958. We recall with fondness the leadership that was provided by the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of British Columbia, APEG-BC, in serving on the first certification boards. In fact, APEG-BC was administering much of the affairs of ASTTBC in those very early days. And professional engineers, of course, continue to be actively involved with ASTTBC. It's a very strong relationship. We do have points on which we may not always agree as it pertains to the matters of practice rights, but we are committed to working together in order to realize the full potential of the engineering team in British Columbia. I'm delighted to report that the Chief Operating Officer, Janet Sinclair, is with us this morning. She's a delightful individual who represents the profession in such an incredible manner. And I'd ask Janet to stand and be recognized. Janet? I'm pleased to also acknowledge and invite up to the podium the Vice President of APEG-BC. Let's put our hands together for Ed Casa. Ed, thanks for coming.
Thanks, John. My name is Ed Cassis. I'm actually an instructor at BCIT, so I kind of have a foot in both camps. So I help train both the next generation of technologists as well as the next generation of engineers. But today I'm here in my capacity as the Vice President of the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of BC. I'm very pleased to be here today and bring greetings to our colleagues on behalf of APEC-BC and our council. As you know, APEC-BC has the responsibility of regulating and governing the professions of engineering and geoscience under the Engineers and Geoscientists Act. So our members work together alongside members of ASTTBC to provide engineering services to British Columbians that are innovative, trustworthy, and safe. We all work together every day to build a strong infrastructure and economy for all British Columbians. As an organization, we value the many opportunities we have to work together with ASTTBC on matters of shared importance to our association and our members. This includes our ongoing joint outreach to internationally trained professionals to support them in joining our professions and integrating them into the engineering job market in BC. But the most important goal that we share is protecting the safety and well-being of British Columbians. This is our #1 priority. We look forward to continuing to work with ASTTBC on defining systems that will allow all practitioners to fully utilize their training, experience, and expertise to serve the province and people of British Columbia. For example, with the engineering licensee designation, those who are qualified can practice within the defined scope of engineering at a professional level. And through our new pilot bridging program, we've created pathways for qualified and experienced engineering licensees to obtain registration as a professional engineer. The engineering team can only be strengthened by contributions from all of its members, technologists, both technologists and engineers, and this is good for the success of our projects and the prosperity of our province. Thank you once again for your time and the invitation to join you, and I wish you all the best for a successful meeting. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ed. Appreciate your attending today and your message to the meeting. Very much appreciated. I'm not sure I've seen Christine Gallowitz. Great, fabulous. Christine Gallowitz is the CEO of the Association of BC Forest Professionals. And I wonder, Christine, if you wouldn't mind coming up and bringing greetings from ABCFP. Let's put our hands together for Christine.
Thanks so much for the opportunity and the invitation to join you here this morning. It's, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Association of BC Forest Professionals, we're comprised of 5,300 members, both registered forest professionals and registered professional foresters and registered forest technologists. And this is something quite familiar to your CEO, who is an honorary member of our profession. And that's because of the strong partnership he's built between our two organizations and continues to foster going forward. I joined the association about 18 months ago or so, and as a fellow colleague, John immediately reached out, and we began talking together about the importance of regulated practice in this province. Right now, we see a lot of things happening out on the land base, questions about professional reliance. Can we rely on professionals? John and I have had the opportunity to work and talk on a number of occasions about the importance of all of our professions standing shoulder to shoulder here in BC to demonstrate that professionals, relying on professionals, is a good practice. It helps maintain our, sorry, I got a bit of a cold and I'm all stuffed up. Pardon me. Relying on professionals is a great way to ensure the stewardship of our resources here in the province. And it's very important for us as professionals to band together and demonstrate how we work in partnership. It's a big land base out there. We need everyone on the land base working in partnership, and I'm very pleased that our associations work that way. We've also had the opportunity to work together on a number of the processes within our associations. Compliance and discipline, registering, figuring out how to accredit people from other places. We all share the same challenges as professions, associations, and I'm very pleased to to have such a strong working partnership with your organization. So thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning, and wish you all the best with the rest of your conference here today. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Christine. It really does come down to the individuals involved, and Christine, in her first 18 months, is providing extraordinary leadership on behalf of the forest profession in British Columbia. Speaking about Christine, we have another Christine with us this morning. Christine Houghton is the Executive Director of the College of Applied Biology, newly minted, fairly newly minted to the position. Let's welcome Christine Houghton.
Thank you. As John has said, I am the newly minted Executive Director of the College of Applied Biology. I've been on the job all of 3.5 months, and I've had the opportunity, this is the season of AGMs, to be able to attend a number of our sister organizations in coming to AGMs, and I've learned a lot. I want to reiterate what my colleague Christine said, that I've been very impressed. Well, I've been impressed by two things. Number one, the ability for people to talk in acronyms really quickly and know what they're saying. So I feel your pain. And it's the same everywhere. But I've also been very impressed at the commitment on those of us who work on the land base to join together to look at how we can support each other going forward and make all our professions the strongest. Applied biology is the youngest of all the regulated professionals in British Columbia. Next year we celebrate our 15th anniversary, and we're only one of 2 in the country. So being able to partner with your kind of organization, the foresters, the engineers, agrologists who have been around and have so much experience to share, both on a personal level with me who's new, but also on a professional level with applied biologists, is really important as we move forward. So I look forward to going forward on a number of initiatives we've been talking about with ASTTBC and others, and making it a stronger professionalism in British Columbia, stronger, better recognized and appreciated for the contribution it makes for all British Columbians. Thank you.
Thank you very much. From the Planning Institute of BC, President Daniel Huang. Is Daniel here? Daniel? Wasn't sure he's registered to attend today. Let's recognize also some others with whom ASTT has close working relationship. I'm going to ask these individuals to stand, and if you wouldn't mind holding your applause until all are recognized. From the BC Economic Development Association, we have the President and CEO, Dale Weldon. We have from the Western Canada On-Site Wastewater Management Association, the President, Garth Milan, and their Executive Director, Leslie Desjardins. From Diverse City Community Resources Society, Sharon Nixon, President. A very close friend of ASTTBC and one that we cite regularly, that we were talking this morning, who was at a conference in 2005, ably representing the industry, but an individual that is very supportive of ASTT and the role of technologists and technicians. Rosalind Coonan and Associates, Dr. Rosalind Coonan, Principal. Thank you for coming out, Rosalind. Larry Richardson is the BC Director of Training for CLAC. Richard, are you here this morning? Carol Simpson, CEO of Focus Professional Services. And Ashifa Danani is the Executive Director with the Public Works Association of BC. Let's put our hands together for these special people. We have many individuals here today from BCIT. Let me mention one, the President of the BCIT Student Association, Justin Prasad. Justin, are you here this morning? And from Okanagan College, of course, we recognize their Director of Student Services, the individual who is one of the individuals who is a public representative on the council, James Coble. So let's thank these individuals as well. And now, Mr. Chair, back to you in terms of the recognition of the incoming president.
Thank you, John. The talking stick. Miniature version. President gets to take this home. I made the mistake of putting it on the coffee table and said, "Hon, I have a talking stick. You must listen to me." And she said, "Great, put it on the side table and you can talk to it." In which I did, because no one else was listening to me. But it's here, Trent. The talking stick is a well-known and respected symbol of our organization. In the year 2000, ASTTBC commissioned master carver Jack Robertson to produce the talking stick, and the cost was covered by donations. Later, Jack Robertson was again commissioned to carve a smaller scaled replica of the talking stick for the president to have during the term in office. The talking stick symbolizes the responsibility of the president to allow each member of council to be heard and the duty to speak on behalf of the association in serving the public interest. That was my mistake. Trent, please come forward so that I may pass this talking stick to you for safekeeping during your term of office. All right. I will now ask Trent to read and sign the oath of office. Do you have, right there? Oh, you got it. Okay.
I got to do this all by myself. Yeah, all by yourself. Hey, good morning. The President's Declaration on Assuming Office. I, Trent Reed, CTEC, in consideration of the honor of assuming the position of the office of the President of the Applied Science Technologists and Technicians of BC, declare and affirm that I will carry out such tasks as are necessary and within my power to ensure that the duties and responsibilities of the Association and specified in the Applied Science Technologists and Technicians Act, the regulations pursuant to the Act, and policies of the Governing Council are performed in the best interests of the public and the technology professionals regulated under the Act and regulations.
Are you good? Never pass up the opportunity to get the photograph.
One more thing that I have to do. Trent, I give you this gavel as a symbol of the chair of council while you serve as president for the next 2 years.
Get out of the way.
Says woohoo! Read whatever's left.
Nice. All right. I don't think I've ever seen that thing used at a council meeting, but it's going to start in September. Keith, thank you so much for your term as president. As your term comes to a close, I guess that's pretty much now. I know there are a lot of I know there's a lot of accomplishments that you can look back on with pride. We would like to present you with a plaque acknowledging your presidency, which you can display on your office wall. Oh, another picture. More pictures. This is pretty exciting. Thanks, buddy. Oh, I got a gavel. Yeah. Keith, for the benefit of the members here today, I want to take a moment to highlight some of ASTTBC's accomplishments during your term, because there were many, but we're just going to keep it pretty tight. Stepping up to serve was the tone of your leadership. Service to the BC public and our more than 10,000 registrants. As we came to know the full scope of our membership, we are impressed by the high level competency and dedication of our members to our profession, communities, and to ASTTBC. ASTT, through your leadership, continued to focus on the strategic partnerships and outreach to science and technology stakeholders, government, educators, industry, and youth. Focus 2020, Practice and Accountability, was and will continue to be a priority program to enhance services to the public and the profession, and you got that rolling. Thank you very much for that. ASTT continued to work hard under your leadership to garner recognition for the roles of technologists and technicians and technical specialists across the province. With the vision of council, the dedication of the volunteers, and the skill of our staff, together you have helped in making technologists and technicians integral to all of British Columbia. A job well done. What can I say? This man right here, Keith Truelson, your now past president from the last 2 years, another 2 great years for our association. Please join me in thanking Keith for his service to this association. Keith and I have got to know each other over the last few years. Once you're on as an officer and an executive that starts with secretary, treasurer, you get to know the people that are vice president, president, and the past president really well. And it's been a lot of fun. We've had a really good time. John mentioned the words fun. That is an important part of our council because it is a voluntary thing, and we try to enjoy ourselves as much as possible. But there's a lot of hard work to be done. And Keith has really demonstrated that through his time on the executive, and it is appreciated for me. I look forward to continuing the excellent tradition of the presidents who have gone before me, and you've seen many of them here before today. They've all been introduced. But if you were to ask me what's the big picture during the next 2 years, I see a few opportunities for us. First, ASTT will continue on its professional reliance. This is a priority program to serve the public and professions through enhancements to ASTTBC's professional regulatory framework, including policies, processes, and services. President Truelson mentioned PTEC and some portability challenges that we've faced. A second opportunity will be to the now implementation of the professional technologist PTEC, which one of our members asked questions about during the President's report. As President Truelson mentioned yesterday at Council, we approved the recertification or the start of certification again for the PTECs, and we're going to continue to improve. This will continue to improve the skills and utilization and help allow portability of credentials between our provinces. That's our second big priority I see. Third, the collaboration with other organizations. ASTTBC is but one of many professional regulatory bodies in the applied science and engineering sectors in British Columbia. We can be more effective by working together, and I'm committed to continuing that model. Fourth, your council's role in governance. Council will continue to set and monitor the strategic priorities of ASTTBC in the coming years in an effort to improve our already great association. Those are about 4 of the type of priorities that I see working hard for the next couple of years. In closing, by noting that ASTTBC does not live in isolation at a national level, and hence ASTTBC will remain very active with the Technology Professionals Canada as we strive for greater presence as a professional organization on the national and international scenes. I very much look forward to being your president, and I fully expect the next 2 years will be marked by the creativity and enterprise that is typical of ASTTBC members. Thank you very much for your support.
Last duty. Adjournment of annual meeting. During this AGM, we have heard a lot on the year past and the great work of ASTTBC. Thank you all who participated. We will now look forward to another productive year for ASTTBC as we fulfill our mandate to serve the public interest. So now that concludes the business session for today. I will now call for a motion to adjourn the 58th annual meeting of ASTTBC. Dave Kelly, thank you very much, Dave. Seconder. Thank you very much, Ken. Can I ask, I'm not even going to ask for questions. Can I ask for a show of hands to approve the motion to adjourn the annual meeting? Thank you. So moved. Resolution carried.